pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I'll ask for a moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you very much. Agenda approval. I have an item to add under my liaison report, which would be the clerical 1 position and clerical 2 position.
I have the introduction of local law number 3 for the solar energy law.
And I have an addition, Mr. Supervisor, for a town village lease contract meeting.
Al, do you want?
Also, you have the
Resolution?
the resolution.
I apologize, yes, resolution, I thought Mr. Jacoby was going to put it under his agenda.
Oh, okay.
If you're
Yeah.
okay with
Oh,
me
yeah.
mentioning, Mr. Jacoby, the resolution authorizing fees and charges for emergency medical services and ambulance services that was raised by Mr. John Melanchuk at our last meeting. I've gone through the resolution, and we have it ready for consideration.
Okay. So can I get the agenda approved as amended?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Resident statements. Jill Palermo from the Lewiston Library.
Supervisor Broderick, members of the board, thank you for allowing us to be here. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Chris Panazzo, and I am the President of the Board of Trustees for the Lewiston Library. Here before you tonight with Executive Director Jill Palermo, just to say thank you from on behalf of our 7-member board for all of the support that you have lent to the library over the many, many years. Our board liaison, Councilman Jacoby, is always at our meetings and always available to us, and always informing us on important issues that are relevant to the library. Just wanted to bring you some up-to-date activities and just to let you know who we are. Of course, again, I am the president of the library. Mary Jo Farrell is our vice president. Nancy Smith is our treasurer. John Dagnow is our secretary. And we have trustees Matthew Fellman, Wendy Swearingen, and Mr. Fred Kaysen, who is also here with us tonight. We are an apolitical board, and we're here to help serve the members of the Lewiston community and to ensure that the health of the library is kept. We believe that the library is a vital part of a healthy community, and again, we just want to say thank you for all the support that you have lent to us, and Jill's going to bring you some information about some of our activities today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I wanted to also say thank you. I've been director for 13 years, and since that time, the town has always supported the library as best they can. So I wanted to let you know your funding is not going to waste. So I wanted to give you a few statistics. In 2023, we had over 48,000 visits to our library, 48,000 people, and we have 6,200 registered borrowers. Just a little bit about our collection. We have over 57,000 print items. We have over 10,000 electronic books, and we have over 9,400 other AV items like books on CDs, playaways, and DVDs. As you can tell, we have a lot of people coming through the door. We have our story hours have increased. We have a lot of new families, I think, in the area. We've been getting a lot of new faces in the library. Our program attendance is up. So a little bit about our staff. We have 4 full-time employees and 9 part-time employees. In 2023, we had 170 children's programs, and the attendance was over 6,700 people. So that shows how important children's programming is to the community. What else? We have, some of you know, there's some familiar faces in here that are actually library users, and all we have, like our genealogy program, computers for public use, some people that just come in every day just to read the newspaper. So it's more of a community center as well as an educational center. So we just want to thank you for everything you do for the library on behalf of the staff and the board and the public. Thank you for your continued support.
Thank you for everything you
Thank you.
guys do, too.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you. Norm Nichols, Morgan Drive.
Honorable members of the Lewiston Town Board, my name is Norm Nichols, and I live at 427 Morgan Drive. That's the River Road side of Morgan Drive. I come before you today deeply concerned about recent flooding incidents that have significantly impacted my property. Twice this year, on January 26th, and again just this month on June 8, my home suffered flooding due to a malfunctioning drainage system, an issue that had not arisen since the 90s. Upon investigation, I discovered that the ditch drains in front of my house up to the west side of Cherry Lane, where it connects to Morgan Drive, are non-functional. This issue forces water to cross the road, causing the ditches before that point to overflow. When the ditch overfills, the tremendous water pressure pushes water into my basement along the service lines, such as the sewer and water lines, causing significant damage and rendering portions of my 1,100 square foot basement unusable. Despite my efforts to fortify my property after the January incident, the ongoing drainage problem persists, threatening the value of my home and possibly placing it on an insurance flood map. I reported these issues to the Highway Department after the January incident, but unfortunately there has been no follow-up. I understand weather conditions have contributed, but the core issue still remains unresolved. My robust pumping system only manages to match the incoming water volume when the ditch fills because of back pressure, demonstrating the severity of this problem. Therefore, I urge this board to take immediate action. I request that all drainage pipes associated with the ditch be promptly repaired to prevent further damage to my property and others in the area. Alternatively, if repairs are not feasible, I propose the ditch along my easement to be filled to mitigate ongoing risks. Our community deserves a reliable infrastructure that protects its residents and their properties from such preventable disasters. I implore you to prioritize this matter and take decisive steps to ensure that no more homes suffer as mine has. Thank you for your attention on this urgent issue.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Mr. Woodley?
Ladies and gentlemen of the Lewiston Town Board, I'm the neighbor of Norm. Norm's at 427, I'm at 431. So, without me reading just about everything that he said, mine is a little bit different. On the day following the storm, that we had registered an alarming 5 inches of rain. Some people said 3 to 3.5. Mr. Broderick was at my house. He witnessed my weather gauge, saw that there was 5 inches that fell down. I've been on that street since May 1st of 1985. And I've seen people come and I've seen people go. And this ditch being an ongoing issue, I also showed Mr. Broderick video that I had taken where the water could not vacate to the end of the street, which goes down into the river. We saw it swirling, I have video, going from Cherry Lane and exiting down to there. But at our street from Morgan to cross over from Cherry, we are completely plugged off. So therefore, we had water up onto my lawn. Now, I'm one of the few that still have a ditch, okay? So it goes down. I have a center drain, which I faithfully keep clear all the time, especially in the fall, because of all the leaves coming down, because I want to make sure that will take the water and get rid of it, okay? I just without reiterating what Norm said, I think it's about time, and Mr. Broderick promised me that there's some money allocated to this issue. I think it's about time we take some drastic issues on this. I know people on the 500 block, and these people are in their 90s, who have been flooded out. I'll be 69 this year. We're not getting any younger, and these people have to pay a lot of money for people to come by, take out all their wet rugs, their boxes, which I had box after box out there this morning. I offered to help the guy when he came to get the recycle. He says, nope. He said, with this new claw, I can pick everything up for you. But I witnessed, because I drive around the neighborhood, I witnessed at least another 20 homes that had been flooded out again. Now, when Norm had his done in January, there was probably 60. Because I drive around the neighborhood and I watch. So, in closing, Mr. Broderick promised me that there's going to be money allocated. I worked at a plant for 37 years. I know how water flows. I know what it does. I've turned in several leaks, gas leaks, water leaks, because I know what they are. We need to address this situation because I myself, I'm getting sick and tired of getting flooded out. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Woodley.
Thank you very much for giving me the time to speak on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Woodley. Paul, you're on the agenda, so sit tight. Hannah Davis, 5300 Town Line Road.
Hello, Mr. Broderick and the Town Council. My name is Hannah Davis. My father was Bill Draper. We lived next door to the Niagara Pumpkin Farm. The Niagara Pumpkin Farm started off as the Niagara Nightmares. It has been a horrendous situation concerning everyone on the street. My father has endured, my father has now died in December. He was a World War II veteran, very proud man. He has endured, I have hundreds of papers, of pictures of what Mr. King and Alicia King did to my family. The harassment that my father endured contributed to his depression in his later years. Something has to be done. This man has come into the town, taken a farm. I have papers if you want to see them.
Bring them up.
These are, I don't have one for everyone, I'm sorry. My hand is shattered, so there you go. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, give them to them, because I've seen them.
Thank you.
Could you stand a little closer to the mic when you're there?
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, now I've calmed down. No, the harassment that we have endured has been, the first day that my father met Mr. King, he came over with his wife to the lot line and started calling my father every name in the book. This is a World War II decorated veteran, very proud, very humble man. And my father stood there and took it. And from that day on, 2.5 years ago, it had since every day something like this happened. He has taken a beautiful farm, he turned it into a haunted house, which was horrendous. We had people parking on our property. We had people putting their headlights towards my father's house. We couldn't even sit on the house. The noise was horrendous. That was the first year. Last year, they turned it into a hayride. On to hayride, the noises were even more. They had concessions. They did everything. They went against every town code that they've had. I've spoke to Mr. Broderick. He's been so helpful in understanding our situation, and Mr. Masters and Mr. Zimmerman. The situation has now escalated. According to the town codes, he's only allowed to have 3 buildings. Including his house, he has a double garage, a regular garage, and a smaller one that Mr. Boffman years ago used as a office. He now has a ticket booth, 3 or 4 sheds that are in the process of being built in the middle of the night and up here in the morning. He has fences everywhere. He now has, as you can see on there, the bounce house is enormous. It has now been totally engulfed. It's totally surrounded by a fence. It has rules on the front of it. Mr. Myers, I have contacted you numerous times. You didn't return my phone calls in the last 2 years. But anyways, he runs his commercial business out of here, out of his property. He has huge advertisements on his property, and from his trucks to his trailers to the other things. I was told it was rural residential and his property was not supposed to be like that. And he still does it. He has total disregard, total disrespect. Can something be done to stop him? He has harassed my husband, myself. My mother now is living there. She's 95, blind. I live 3 houses away. We have the property together. My father was a renowned horseman. He never deserved any of this. If anyone knows of a horse, my dad, people know my dad. I'm sorry. I watched my father go from he was so depressed. He bought this property 60 years ago. We built the barn. He built it. He built the house. And it was his pride and joy to be able to sit on the porch and just look at the animals and all that. He has not been able to do that for 3 years because of Mr. King. One of the biggest things Mr. King did last year was park his truck right next to my dad's porch, 20 feet away. 5 hours of blaring rap music, so my father couldn't even sit on the porch. This was a daily, weekly occurrence that he did this. There was even no one home at the time, and he just did it. This was the kind of harassment my father and my mother endured. I'm scared now what he will do to my mom because she lives by herself, but I'm 3 houses away, so now I am over there all the time. My husband and I are both over there all the time. What can be done to stop this? Because he's been granted agritourism. Well, that's a big, broad area, but what he is making now is an entertainment complex. It has absolutely nothing to do with agritourism. I'm a farmer. I've raised horses, I raised cows, I've done, you name it, I've done it. This has nothing to do with farming. It's an entertainment center, and it's for money. He sells tickets, he sells, it's just, please, do something to stop it. Mr. Jacoby, I've talked to you before, years ago. And Mr. Zimmerman and Mr. Masters have been very understanding, very helpful in helping me to understand that there's really nothing that they can do because of the way the codes are. I've gone from the FAA to the DEC. The DEC, I have pictures of illegal burning. He was fined. I have pictures of FAA. They thought it was funny to fly drones 5 feet away from my mother's head sitting on her porch, which she could not see. I have pictures, I have videos, I have audio of his children calling my mom names, calling my father names. They are ridiculous, Mr. and Mrs. King, the stuff we've endured. But that's all beside the point. Please, do something about this. It's not something that should be in a rural residential area. This was a quiet neighborhood The neighbors are scared to death of him because they don't want him to do what he did to my dad, to them and their children. So no one will come here. I've asked them. They all came to the funeral and complained, but they won't come because of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis.
Thank you.
And John, you're on the agenda as well.
Okay.
Department head statements. Donna, anything?
Yes. The Village Board of Trustees would like to meet with the town board to discuss the police department. I had forwarded a calendar for July, if you all could let me know what works for you, so we can get that meeting going.
It looks like July 16th. Does anybody have a problem with July 16th at 6 p.m.? We have court here, so I would say we would do it at the village.
I can ask them.
Yeah, see if they're available that day. I know our attorney has an appointment here in Lewiston Court at 5:30, but he says he can make it there by 6 o'clock.
Okay, that was easy.
Okay?
Right. Back on November 28th, the town board approved to waive the 30-day advance notice to a local municipality or community board regarding the liquor license for the Marlboro Kitchen and Bar. They are reaching out again and asking for another extension because they have now since changed their name. It's now called Ocho Entertainment. Apologize if that's not correct, but they are asking for an additional 30 days to notify that you when they have their liquor license. So if you approve that, we just need to forward them a letter letting them know that you do or you don't.
Is there a problem with approving it?
No, you acknowledge receipt of their request, and you waive the 30 days. Typically, the municipality would have 30 days to research and object to it, and that's what you're waiving, so there's no problem.
Okay. We need a
We do it-
motion?
We do it routinely, yes.
We need a motion?
Yeah, I would.
I'll make that motion as stated by Attorney Bax.
We have a motion, a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That's it.
Okay. Chief, anything?
Yeah, I'm looking for approval, so the board knows, I think, most of the board is aware. I applied for a grant through Law Enforcement Technologies from DCGS, New York State DCGS. We did receive $495,000 grant towards specific equipment. What I'd like to do tonight is get the permission to purchase this prior to, the money hasn't dropped yet, we've already got the award notice, so I'm just looking for permission to purchase this when that money drops. I'll check, Jackie's gonna let me know. This is all time sensitive, that's why there's quite a lead time on some of this stuff. There's two different things that I'll defer to our attorney for. The one that you have is New York State bid, so that's kind of set in stone, we can't really do much about that. The two items that are on there, the state contract number as well as the prices for those are state bid items. The other is,
While you're looking at that, why don't you, just for the record, place what the items are that you're going on state bid for?
Sure. For New York State bid, the items for purchase that I'm requesting permission for is 2 Stalker M360 message trailers. The contract number's on there.
That's fine.
As stated on there, and the price of $45,927.50. The other is one Motorola APX 6500 ENH series. That's a radio. That's a mobile radio that is in the cars, and that's for $6,037.25. Those are both New York State bid items. Go ahead with the next.
Go ahead.
So the other are through GSA, and I'll defer to, again, Mr. Bax, but I will read through what I'm looking for there. GSA is government sourced contracts, so that's the federal government kind of, I don't want to get too far into what he might explain, but it's my understanding that's the equivalent of New York State bids on a federal level. So for that, I'm looking for approval for a Recon View MST tower. The contract number's on there. That is the same towers that we use for events. We don't own one, we borrow one now, the one that we use for different events that goes up into the air. It's a surveillance tower that also comes with cameras and different things as far as surveillance. That's for $208,000 and $208,934.60. And also from that same company under the GSA contract is a camera trailer. That's a pole, it's a trailer where the camera goes 30 feet up, so we can put that mobily anywhere we want, parks, anywhere we need to monitor. Also have a license plate reader on it, that's $31,000. And Faro Focus Premium Laser Scanner, that is a laser scanner that is used to measure. We can use it indoor, like at crime scenes. It'll map the whole area, or for accidents, for accident reconstruction, without us actually having to go out and physically measure. It shoots the whole area, and it'll actually give us a picture or now an actually animation of some of the accidents that we're investigating, so we can actually animate those as well. With that, I'll defer to Mr. Bax.
So as the board is aware, we're typically subject to procurement policies. State bid is one exception to having to go out to bid. This is section 1042 of General Municipal Law, allows GMA or these types of contracts that are on federal lists, also includes those as exceptions to our procurement policy. The chief and I had some time together on this particular issue, and we called the state comptroller's office. I spoke with Mark Stevens, who is the supervising attorney at the comptroller's office, who indicated that these two purchases, in particular the ones that chief has placed into the record, would fall under this exception to the procurement policy. It would be appropriate for approval.
Okay. So, okay, can I get a motion
Yep.
to approve as presented?
Okay, yes, I'd like to make a motion that we give an advancement to the grant, the GSA grant. The total that I have is $325,729.12 for the items listed.
I'll second that.
Okay, does that include, I'm sorry, does that include those extra items you read?
Yep. Do you want to take that as a separate? or
That's
do
the
you want-
GSA one, not the.
You have the three, right?
Yes, I've got the
Oh,
three, but I was
okay.
gonna do these separate.
Okay, okay, that's
Keep
fine.
them
So we have a
separated.
motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Go ahead.
Okay, and then I would like to make a motion for the items for purchase, through New York State bid. I didn't calculate that amount, but it's with the $45,927.50 and the $6,037.25 for the items requested.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And thank you, Chief, for reaching out and getting that paid for through a state grant.
Thank you. There's more to come. I tried to ask for things that the town board we couldn't get as a town to put in here, so thank you to the board as well for their help.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
Just graduations coming up. Everything went smooth with all the senior days and everything, but we're coming up on the graduations for our part in the village, so.
Good. Jackie, you're on the agenda. Deputy Supervisor, anything? Danny Zano, anything from water? Nothing? Anything else, Al?
Would you like to handle Mr. Malinchuk's request?
Sure, yes.
Mr. Malinchuk, would you mind stepping up? Mr. Malinchuk, on behalf of, I believe, collective of the volunteer fire company, Vermont in particular, has brought this request. This is a resolution that will ultimately allow the Vermont Fire Company to, after transporting an injured individual in their emergency, what would you call it? So what was the vehicle?
In our ambulances.
But you have certain levels of care
Yes.
that goes on within.
From basic to paramedic.
Okay. And that would allow the fire company to bill the individual's insurance for partial reimbursement for those services, which at this point is being 100% funded by the town and volunteer raised money. That being said, this is a state program that
Yes.
that is being trickled down to our fire company, and it will hopefully offset a significant portion of the expenses associated with that emergency care. So the resolution is before you. It calls for a roll call vote. Ultimately, the things to take into consideration is that the fire company is not going to be billing anything in addition to those charges that are reimbursed by the insurance carrier. So there won't be any expense to our residents, but certainly will offset the amount of money that the town is paying. So I would ask you, if anybody has any questions, Mr. Malchuk is here.
And just to correct,
Sure.
what the town gives the fire companies does not go to ambulance
No,
services, correct?
what basically occurs is the ambulance services are based upon door-to-door
Right.
solicitation. The ambulance service is not part of your town
Right.
contract, but it makes up about 85% of the responses that we put out. What this is allowing us to do, and this is actually, New York State is at the end of the list. This has gone across the country, it's going across the state. And what it'll do is will allow us to sustain the services that we've established over the years. Is there offsetting? In a certain sense, there is offsetting when you get into it. We'd be able to take some of the funds that we raise through solicitation and push them in a different direction. So again, nobody's going to get a bill. Your insurance agency or your insurance company will get the bill, and we'll be able to collect. If there are any charges, your deductible, that we're not billing
Right.
for that.
And as you told me today, Rapids in Lockport and Cambria already charges.
Cambria, Rapids, Shawnee, there was a whole list. There was a good article on our last meeting, sir,
Okay,
in the
yep.
Sentinel that went into it in pretty good depth.
So
Okay.
what are you expecting what other fire companies have?
Well,
Ambulance service doesn't.
There's three others.
The village.
There's
one have it
Lewiston
also?
2, Lewiston 1, Upper Mountain,
Mhm.
and Sanborn, or does Sanborn?
No, Sanborn has a relationship with Tri-Community,
Okay.
who already or has been billing
Right.
for
So I think
years
3
to
total
come.
in the town?
There are 3 ambulance services now that are based within the town, within the fire departments.
Yeah.
This is for our district.
Right. So, I would ask for a. Go ahead.
Can I have a question? All right, so your fee schedule, that is what you would be charging through the insurance companies
That is,
under Schedule A?
well, yes and no. That's the maximum.
Okay.
Okay.
So it wouldn't go, that would be the cap then?
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
You know, everything is dependent upon what occurs. You have to
Absolutely.
have a basis to start. The data looks fantastic, but the reality is that's not what's going to happen. The reality should be less than that.
Okay. All right, just as long as that, I know that that is the cap, so thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
I have 2 things, Steve. One is, will we need a resolution number on this tonight?
Do we have one, John?
Oh,
I don't have one on me, no.
Supplemental.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to clarify is, there'll never be a situation where one of the residents of the community uses your service and they have to pay what, in excess of what their insurance covers.
Let me explain it, put it this way.
Can you
The
simply
answer
say?
is no.
No. That's the important,
Yep.
most important thing.
And I think he's made that clear, both tonight and the previous
Mhm.
meetings.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I would ask for is a motion to approve resolution, we don't put a number on it yet.
I don't. didn't
Okay.
Add it to the agenda, I didn't realize it was.
I'll make that motion that we approve the authorizing fees and charges for emergency medical services and ambulance service as presented.
For the resolution.
Second.
Yeah. So we have a motion and a second, now it'll be a roll call vote.
Okay, Councilman Jacoby,
Aye.
Councilman Morial,
Aye.
Councilmember Myers,
Aye.
Councilmember Wechter,
Aye.
and Supervisor Broderick.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Stay safe. Be
Thank
well.
you. Mitch Zano.
Yes. We have a project over on Lower River Road, which is part of our problems that we have at Morgan's. This takes most of the water from the front section, 36-inch pipe that collapsed. It's moving less than half the water of what it's capable of. And I'm looking to get money to replace that.
Yeah.
That would run down to the river, which is what dumps all the water from, for the most part, on the whole front Morgan's.
So I talked to you earlier today, I talked to Jackie as well. So I'm gonna make a motion to move $100,000 from our H97 account, infrastructure, over to highway to pay for basically the cost, roughly in the ballpark of that pipe that you have on order, correct?
It's ordered.
It's ordered, so.
That'll cover the pipe and the materials.
And the
stone.
paving.
Yep, stone that we're gonna need backfill around it.
So I'll make a motion to move $100,000 from H97 into, do you know what account that would go into?
DB 05110-0200-0000, which would be highway equipment.
Okay, so that one. So I'll make the motion to move $100,000 from H97 into that account.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And as also, we're paving up to Irving. We have one road left. And I was looking to get an additional $50,000 so we can finish paving that whole subdivision up there. Have it all complete. That would complete our paving then.
Okay, and you're looking at $50,000.
Yeah.
So I talked to you today and I talked to Jackie. So I will make a motion to move $50,000 from our H97 account over to highway for the same account.
Nope, this would be permanent improvements. I believe it's DB 05130-0400-000. But I'll confirm.
Finish the paving on Irvin. So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second.
Just wanted to make note for the record that that was already part of his 284
Yes.
proposal at the beginning of the year.
Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Mitch, that pipe will be in this year, right? You'll get-
Oh, yeah, I hope say within the next couple of weeks.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Right. Okay, we're gonna have to get done before fall. That drops down, is really steep.
Yeah, we went there. I
If we
went
don't,
there.
we'll be in the river.
Good. Anything else?
And I had talked to Gary Townsend up to the Fire Museum. They were looking for help for flower watering plants. About 12 or 15 hours a week, they figured for a person. I'm looking to hire someone else, a full-time person, part-time to do that, and the rest of the time to work on the parks that we have here, anyway.
Okay.
Lawn grass, whatever.
Okay. You want to make that motion?
Yes, do you have a name or anything, or?
No, just to create that position for him. And then he'll get, do you have somebody in mind yet or no?
No.
Right, because you have two that you're hiring now as your summer help. This will be a third.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to make
Yeah,
a
sure.
motion to
I'll
create that position?
make the motion to create the position for Mitch. Is it under Parks or under Highway?
Parks.
Under Parks. They'll accommodate those issues.
And I talked to Jackie as well. I'll second it. I talked to Jackie as well, and she would move that over from the B fund balance.
B, correct.
Fund balance to cover the cost of that seasonal employee. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else?
That was it.
Okay. Jeff Ritter, anything?
I would just like to add, after the resident statements from Mr. Nichols and Mr. Woodley, we got some drainage issues. And they spill over into the sewer department as well. So, After this flooding, Supervisor Broderick suggested that we do a backflow preventer program for certain reoccurring situations. We're currently working on it, and we have a list of residents, and we're going to have to, Mr. Max's specialties here to figure out how we're going to do this. But we are trying to be proactive in helping people keep their basements from being flooded by sewage lines anyways.
Is that something we would have to pay for?
Well, it would be a grant program that we haven't decided on what that amount's gonna be. Whatever the amount was, you would be responsible for the extra amount. We wouldn't pay for 100% of it.
Okay.
But I'm actually trying to contact a few plumbing companies to just get an estimate on what that would do, you know, what they would charge somebody to do that. So, Albany, New York does it, City of Hamilton, Ontario does it. If you Google it, you'll see it. There's a bunch of municipalities that offer that, so.
And the supervisors basically, we're effectively trying to cherry pick the best portions of each town's policy to incorporate into the town's.
Yeah.
So, and it just so happens that this event happened right in the middle of trying to put that program together. I think the concern though is that the backflow preventer will only impact the sewer lines, am I correct?
Yes, I'm not sure that 5 inches of rain over 2 hours is gonna help flooding out any place.
Effectively, it's a backflow preventer on only that line.
Only the sewer line, yeah.
I did run into Ryan Treichler that day as he was coming down. I was in the middle of the road standing in 2 inches of water just in the highway alone. And he told me that some people did have sewage go back into their homes.
Mr. Woodley, feel free to give Mr. Ritter a call.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Jeff?
No, that's it.
Okay. Approval of the meeting minutes from our regular town board meeting on May, what was the date? Pardon?
They're not done.
They're not done? Okay. So we'll have to wait till the next meeting for that. Audit payment, Councilman Myers?
Two slides of payments for June 10th, 2024. I move to approve the regular abstract of claims 24-01360 through 01450, and recommend payment in the amount of $406,821.55 and a post audit of $0 for that. That's the motion on that.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And then for June 24th, I move to approve the regular abstract of claims 24-01451 through 24-01605, and recommend payment in the amount of $284,977.68 and a post audit of $8,504.50. That's a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Pending old business. We have a resolution. Jackie, do you want to touch base on that for the money wire and transfers?
We have a non-corporate resolution form which will allow KeyBank Capital Markets to utilize Bank on Buffalo, which is a new bank that we've established business with this year. In the past, they were just dealing directly with KeyBank, but this resolution will allow the investments, the treasury bills that we invest in to flow through the Bank on Buffalo now.
We need a motion to sign the resolution, is that what we're
It's been reviewed by the attorney.
It's motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to be signed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
New business, our Eagle Scout project with Paul Olszewski. Paul, you want to present to the board?
So my name is Paul Olszewski. I am creating an Eagle Scout project in the new Stonehaven Preserve. My name is Paul Shefsky. I live in the town of Lewiston. I'm a member of Cambria's Troop 8. I'm a Life Scout working towards my rank of Eagle. The Eagle rank is the highest rank that Scouting can offer. Some basic requirements include taking leadership on a project that I'm presenting mine today, earn 21 merit badges, a few of them being specific ones needed for the advancement, and be active in a leadership position in one's troop for at least 6 months. So my project overview is I plan to restore some of the existing signs and structures throughout Stonehaven Preserve. This will include restoring the trail map structure that is next to the parking lot, refinishing about 6 existing scout camp signs throughout the preserve, and creating 2 professionally printed pieces for the trail map structure. Part 1 of this project will involve restoring the trail map structure, including replacing some of the boards, sanding and repainting, and doing some basic landscaping around the area. My second part is to refinish about 6 of the existing scout camps by trimming plants and repainting the signs and lettering. My third part of this project is to create 2 professionally printed pieces for the existing trail map structure, including one side with an updated trail map for the preserve, and the other side being some brief history of what the preserve was before. This project I plan to start this project immediately following town board and BSA council approval. I estimate completion of this project by fall 2024 with the bulk of the physical labor done over the summer. I have created a digital sign-up sheet off to the left of this page for troop members and family members to help sign up. I'll be also working with Cooper Signs to make the 2 printed pieces which are suitable for outdoor use. I'm not going to go through everything on this next slide. I just want to show you that I have found that I've thought through everything I will need for this project. And on the following slide, I have everything priced out by category, and I have thought through everything that is required and how much that will be cost. And the town of Lewiston has graciously given their funding towards this project. In tonight's handout, there's a page for my proposal for approvals. The BSA also requires a town signature on that page. Then the proposal will go to BSA Council for final approval before any work can start. Upon project completion, the BSA requires the town to sign off on my project approval report, signifying that they are satisfied with the finished product. My proposed timeline is town approval, hopefully by the end of the meeting tonight, council approval by 7/15/24. My 3 install days over July and August. Finishing up the sign installation in early fall, September, October, and my project approval report to be done by early November. As far as materials and supplies and safety, the materials will be brought to the site by myself. Helpers will drive themselves or make arrangements to arrive. Scouts operating landscaping equipment and or power tools have to be over the age of 16 per BSA guidelines. Helpers are aware and prepared for the risk of being in an outdoor environment, and general first aid will be available, and a few first aid certified individuals will be on site, as well as water and snacks will be provided. I'm not aware of this project requiring any permits. However, the town deems any permits to be necessary. The BSA requires that the town would acquire them separately. I am happy to assist with any paperwork needed. The BSA also requires that the town sign all contracts with no mention of the BSA. For example, Cooper Signs may need a contract to produce the paperwork. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your time and consideration at this meeting. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and my contact information is also on that slide. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Paul? So with that, what I would make a motion to approve Paul to do the work presented at Stonehaven Preserve. I'll make that motion. I'll need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And the dollar amount, we'll will not need to be, it'd be department head approval, which I already talked to Paul and told him that the town would pay for his supplies, so that money will come out of parks for the $1,700, and I lost it now. Oh, okay, $1,786.76. So, congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing it when it's done, and I'm sure I'll be out there with you in a couple days.
Yeah, let us know when you sign up volunteers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul,
Supervisor,
thanks.
if you
Yeah.
wouldn't mind, just one more motion approving, authorizing you to sign the paperwork for the VSA.
With Cooper signs?
Yep.
Yeah, and VSA. So, can I get a motion for me to sign the paperwork?
Motion is presented.
Motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Okay. Supervisor Broderick, liaison report, legal. We already did the police purchase. Do we still need to go into executive session for consultation with the attorney?
Just briefly, I think there won't be any action taken
So that'll be at the end of the meeting?
at the end of the meeting, yes.
Okay. The town village police contract, we already did that, and we did the resolution for the Upper Mountain Fire Company. And engineering.
All five.
Yeah. Finance, budget revisions. Jackie?
Yes, I previously submitted 3 budget revisions for your review, and I ask for approval at tonight's meeting.
I reviewed them this morning with Jackie, and I'd like to make the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Also, I have an investment report. On June 6th, we had 2 T-bills mature, and the town at that point earned $54,180. Since the markets are still favorable with interest, we reinvested again in T-bills, and they will mature on 9/5 of 2024.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Also, as part of our contract that we approved with the Teamsters office staff, we need to create a clerical 2 position we need to create a clerical 2 position. So I'll make a motion to create a clerical 2 position.
Second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to promote Randy Jones to clerical 2 from the highway department.
Second.
Motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I need a motion, or I'll make a motion to abolish a clerical 1 position.
Second.
Motion a second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. That takes care of Randy's promotion. Councilman Jacoby.
I only have one thing. We have an addition to the roster at Upper Mountain Fire Company. Please add the following individual to our roles as a new member of the Upper Mountain Fire Company of Lewiston, New York, effective this date. And they've listed 3 people: Anna Feisto, 896 Upper Mountain Road; Alana Swanson, Kane Road; and Adriana M. Swanson. I believe that's Swanson, isn't it? Swanson, also of Kane Road. And, that's a motion to approve
Second.
that.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, Councilman Morial.
I got a few things on my agenda tonight. I got a sewer forgiveness for Bob Virtuoso at 411 Chicora Road. The sewer department recommends the board forgive sewer fees of $35.18 to Bob Virtuoso, 411 Chicora Road. This fits within the town's sewer use agreement. I need a motion on that.
Motion is presented.
I made the motion, okay.
Okay, yep, and second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
And the second one I have is for Kuzumiko RNH Realty. Planning board meeting in a regular session on June 20th, 2024, reviewed a 1-lot subdivision for Roman Electrical of R&H Realty, SBL number 73.16-4-10 at Calkins Road. The planning board classified this as a minor, to be treated as a minor. The planning board recommends a negative declaration with regard to seeker on this, so I need a motion for seeker.
For negative deck?
Yes.
So you're making that motion?
Yes.
I'll second it.
The motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
And then the planning board also recommends approval of the subdivision as presented, and that's also a motion.
Second.
The motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Now we have a co-location on Model City Road. The planning board met in regular session on June 20th, 2024 to review a tower antenna co-location application for T-Mobile Northeast LLC and Crown Castle USA Incorporated, located at 4746 Model City Road, Lewiston, SBL number 88.00-1-20. The following planning board reviews of this application, the board makes the following findings and recommendations. Number one, the planning board recommends approval of the co-location application. Number two, the planning board recommends the town board increase the existing removal bond with the tower approval on the applicant's premises in the amount of $50,000 equal to the construction cost of the co-located antenna for recommendation of the town engineer. And number three, the planning board recommends the town board make any approvals conditioned on the applicant submitting for review the sufficiency of subject towers removal bond so as to conform the tower with the requirements of section 320-5G of the town code. I'm gonna make a motion with these three recommendations to be included in the motion.
Can I just say that the address is 4704? Okay, not a 4746. Thank you. That's what I was gonna ask.
Okay, that's a motion, I look at correction with the amendment to the address.
Do we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any questions?
I just had one just for my own understanding. Basically, nothing's being added to the tower, they're just going like, I think it's like 20 or 30 feet underneath the existing.
Yeah, my
What's already
understanding
there?
of the request is to just add some equipment to the tower.
Okay, so it's just like an addition, it's like different carriers, just gonna be below.
Another box.
Okay, so nothing
my
else is
understanding.
changing with the structure. All right, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
The last thing I have on my agenda, local law amending the zoning for the solar energy law. This will be local law number 3, 2024. Town of Lewiston, town board here adopts amendments to the code of the town of Lewiston, section 360. And we're gonna be calling a public hearing for next meeting, July 22nd, 2024. Now, I'd look to you to just kind of elaborate on.
Sure, as the board's aware, there was a moratorium that we placed on any further expansions of utility scale solar projects. What this amendment does is it restricts the areas in which utility scale solar projects can be located. Also beefs up the town's ability to manage these projects in the future, specifically with respect to screening and decommissioning bonds.
Yes.
And those are the types of things that as of right now, are required through the zoning board, but really we have limited ability to kind of manage and maintain those issues into the future because they're not before the town board. It also requires that any future projects, the management or whoever the applicant is, enter into a host community agreement with the town, which would be give and take, obviously, and allow the town a little bit of teeth, if you would, in the project in order to, when a complaint or the building department goes out and notices that some of the screening is down, their violation of that requirement of the host community agreement would require them to come before the town board, et cetera. So gives us a little flexibility and a little bit more ability to enforce the things that we in the past have noted are important to first of all the board, but also the town residents.
And this law will be posted online before the public hearing.
So we don't need to vote on introducing it, we need to vote on a public hearing, don't we?
That's correct. If I mean, you have to have, this has to be put on the next agenda for a public hearing at 6 o'clock, I would assume.
Yep.
It's a normal protocol.
I'll make that motion for a public hearing.
You need to vote on introducing.
We do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry, you need to, you don't vote on you don't
Right.
vote on the actual law tonight. You just make a motion to put it on the board agenda for next meeting.
So, local law, let's see, introduce local law number 3 for the zoning for the solar energy law.
Second. We have a motion and a second introducing local law number 3 of 2024. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And then a motion for a public hearing at our next meeting, July 22nd, 2024, 6 p.m.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And certainly, if any of the board members have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Okay. Councilman Myers, I think we already took care of yours.
Yeah, we did with, Rich's report. Did, Mr. Townsend or Mr. Cecil, want to present anything or say anything?
Be careful, you already got what you wanted.
And you notice that the mic is higher than I'm talking.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not gonna hear him in.
Yeah.
We wanna thank you for putting that through for us.
Just bend it down, there you go.
Yeah, thank you. As you guys all know, Glenn Winky has now reached 90 years old. And his family wants him to start cutting back. And we have 6 gardens that we take care of in the town. We do the planting of the flowers, which we obtained through the William Main grant that we applied for through the Business Association. That's what pays for all that stuff. We also have mowing, weeding, all that kind of stuff. So that all comes out of our business, of money that we have. So we don't have a lot of extra money to go hiring somebody now to take over Glenn's position. We do have our own water line, okay? So we just need somebody from the town that can come with a vehicle, hook up to our water wagon and go water. Okay, possibly anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week, depending on what.
Depending on the weather,
Right.
of course. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what we need,
Yep.
okay? And we thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Councilwoman Wecker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I'd
sorry.
like to-
Sorry.
Well, let me start out with a problem that I've had here. I tried to meet with the supervisor here, and I call down here, and they tell me that he's sitting on a beach somewhere now. I'm not sure who he's sitting with. I'll bring that up, but, I just couldn't get a hold of the guy, so that's one of my complaints, So maybe.
Well, if you weren't in Florida for 6 months in a day.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We might be on a meet once in a while.
Yes, thank you. Anyway, I'm Gary Townsend, 5682 Town Line Road, for the record. And again, just going back a little bit of history on our projects in Sanborn and working with our business associations, their different businesses and different fundraisers that we've had up there, and the people that have donated so much. With the flowers, a lot of the flowers are donated. Costs us about $1,000 a year for the flowers to put in there. And along with that, the grant monies that we do get from the Bridge Commission and William May grant. So we do good with our grant monies to help out the town. That doesn't cost the town a very low of anything to run our beautification in the hamlet of Sanborn, and we're very proud of that. one of the things that we do also along with that grant money is we have a tree program. Every year we buy 3 expensive flowering trees that we plant in town. Replace a lot of the trees that have been taken out that are gone. And again, that's another one of our major projects in the Business Association. Christmas programs, we run a Christmas program for the kids at the museum. Buy them all free presents and Santa Claus. So there's a lot of things going on that little Hammer. In fact, it's so good up there that Smoking Joe wanted to annex us over there. I don't know if he would mind coming over and helping the reservation. So, just keep that in mind. Well, thank you so much again, and thank you working with Mitch. Been great. We made all the right connections and tried to do the right things to make sure that what we're going to be in line. I did hear at one point the village was 100% volunteer, and but that was not absolutely true, because I did make a phone call down there, and they give me the ups on what they do. They hire 2 part-time people for the summer months to work on beautification, and of course other things that goes along with that, maybe making fire hydrants or whatever else you may have to do. It's a sort of a nice program. So thank the board members so much, and thank you, Mitch. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Townsend.
Just a big coming up for Sanborn. We have never meeting before, but the Historical Society's the Farm Festival is coming up in July, Saturday and Sunday, July 27th and 28th from 8 to 4, which is I've had fun from every year.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Wechter?
Yeah, Tim, did you want to give an update or anything?
Just summer camp. Our 3 camps open up next week. Baseball's going great. Cornhole's Tuesday nights. Pickleball leagues right now on Mondays. Yoga's our Saturdays at Riverfront Park. And our newest addition is we have a Summer Strong program Monday and Wednesday starting July 8th and runs till the end of August. We have a trainer that's doing a beginner's boot camp. This is going to help anybody that wants to come there and exercise to help build up strength and increase metabolism.
Okay, tell me it's not at Kiwanis, because I'll feel really guilty if I don't go.
It's at the new Riverfront, so it's absolutely gorgeous. So free to the town, so stop on by. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
And then I guess Melinda isn't here, so I know that we approved the sprinkler for the senior center, just to get that fixed and get that up to code, so thank you. I do know she reached out to us as far as a cleaning person. Apparently, I'm sure that she'll probably work with you about it, Jackie. Her cleaning person is going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks having surgery, so not going to be able to do anything, just looking for a substitute. So just to let you know about that. And then as always, she wants to remind you to go online, check out the calendar, come on down and see everybody at the senior center.
And with that, it reminded me also, I didn't add this to the agenda, but I want to put it on there since we only meet once. We've got a scope of work for we hired a company to get a scope of work of the parking lot down there for lighting. So what I would like to do is make a motion to be able to seek bids, put out the bid. It'll be a sealed bid for the lighting of the parking lot at the senior center. So as for a motion, I'll make a motion to do that. We have the scope of work, it'll go out to bid, and hopefully we'll have it by the next meeting. So can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, resident statements. I saw a hand up earlier. Resident statements. Would you like to speak?
I just wanted to know what's going on with the water problems. I live on 104 up here, and I get nothing but water problems. It destroyed my whole basement. I lost all thousands of dollars with stuff, and I had 3 plumbers come and tell me the same thing. It's something with the pipes in the town. It's not in my house something wrong, because my pipes are all redone pretty much. I remodeled.
Have you contacted either
the highway or the sewer on that?
Contacted everybody.
Oh.
And I even contacted the state of New York, never called you back, cause I'm right on 104 there. And then, another thing too is, one guy came from the water department, and he looked in the back, and I guess, I'm on 104, and there's like, Orchard Drive and all that behind it. They got water even worse than I did. Mine was from the middle over the whole backyard, theirs was the whole backyard. But then we found out like 4 houses down, way in the back, which none of us knew about, there's a thing there with a pipe, and for some reason, they capped it. So the water has nowhere to go in the backyard, it's just going everywhere. And then in the front, on the corner of, 104 and Meadow, there's that big ditch. I think last year the state sent a truck, they were out there for a week, digging out the pipe, putting it in, it's still doing the same thing. It's overflowing, going across to my yard, like a pond at the end of my driveway, and then going to the lady on the right of me. It's like constant. Every time it rains, we have everything saturated. I lost a tree because the thing went underneath so bad, the roots came up. I heard this thing at 1 in the morning, boom, you know, and it was a huge tree came right down because of all the water down in the roots. So it's good.
And you contacted Mitch Zano?
Is that the guy that came to the house?
No.
No, okay, that's second. There was another guy, I can't think of his
Same
name.
thing up on 104, they call that drainage problem she's got, it's all the state.
Yeah.
The state does all that, they put all that in.
The state says
They
it's
put it in
you.
a year and a half ago, so they did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The state says it's you, you say it's the state, it keeps
Well,
going back
that's a
and
state
forth,
road.
and nothing gets
Yeah.
resolved.
It's a state road. I mean,
Well,
that's their
if I
road.
could say something, I'm here,
You're
and
behind
she's
me.
here, so
She's here.
everything that went through my house
Comes to her.
then went to her.
Yeah.
So the
Going down
hillside
here.
drive drainage needs to be addressed, and it's really all I'm gonna
It's
say
bad.
right now, because I'm human.
And the plumber told me you can't even put a sump pump, because the way it's coming down, your sump pump would run like non-stop, your electric bill would be sky high. He said it would just keep running, because the way it's all set up, they put that development behind us. Ever since then, we've had all these problems. I don't know if they didn't do the infrastructure right or what, but it's all coming down the hill, it's all coming towards us, because we're on 104. I mean, I'm fed up with it. It's like every day I gotta get a pump and pump water out of my basement. I lost like $6,000 worth of walls and stuff that all had to be ripped down. I had a guy come in and do mold, remedy and all this stuff. I mean, I can't keep doing this. This is craziness. I'm not a millionaire. So I'm just being honest, what's going on. Something's gotta be resolved. And I'm not the only one it's happening to. Everybody in the neighborhood is going crazy. So I don't know how much aware you were of all this, but,
Oh, Mitch is aware.
okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Can I piggyback off of her?
Yeah, yes,
Thank you.
go ahead.
I'm
State your name, I'm sorry, state your,
did you say your name?
Diane Carter.
yeah, okay.
Susan Waitsman. So, of course, again, in the Morgan Farms area, this isn't the first time.
What's your address?
It's Morgan Drive.
No, what's the address though?
521. And that whole area, this happened years ago when they put in the new storm drains. I don't know if you were around for that. And the town ended up flipping the bill for everybody's flooded basements because they put in the new storm drain system, but it wasn't big enough. Everybody's basements in the Morgan Farms area flooded, and the town had to, their insurance had to pay everybody, for all the damages in the basement. And the storm last week, everything, you guys were there, it was flooded. And once again, our basement had flooded. So I just wanted to come in and see what's going on. I called earlier, and they suggested I come to the meeting.
Yeah, they told me you were coming, so that's why I didn't call you back.
good.
I got in late, and, yeah. they
No
told me.
worries, I was running on good stuff too, it's okay. Appreciate it. So, I appreciate you letting me speak and find out, what can be done about it. Is it still that the storm drain is the same one that was built, that was still too small from years ago?
I'm not familiar with the scenario you're talking about, and I don't believe Mitch is either, so we can look into it. Jeff Cosgrove is our deputy, who's been here a long time, so we can check with, I have no idea what you're talking about, so I can look into it.
Okay.
And I got your number, so I can call you tomorrow.
Okay. What is there any
claim against the town's insurance, but there's not gonna be, you know, financial payout to homeowners.
No, that's not what I'm suggesting, I'm saying for like lost, you know, things like clean up in the basement, like lost articles and things like
Yeah,
that.
you would have to make a claim against the town's insurance.
And then, like, what, is there any resolve, like, you're talking about perhaps putting something, but that's not the storm drain you're talking about the sewer.
Sanitary sewer.
The sanitary sewer.
Pipe
Okay, you had
that you're talking about with it, it all goes to that. The pipe that the highway's gonna be replacing, it's gonna help your area.
Yeah, so there is, something that's gonna be in the
Well,
works?
we're always looking to improve. We're always looking to improve.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Mr. Woodley touched base on it earlier that his gauge said 5 inches in your neighborhood of rain in about an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So, I know you don't wanna hear this, but in the most perfect scenario, if we have 5.5 inches of rain, or 5 inches of rain in an hour and a half, we're gonna have problems, but
Right.
we're always looking to improve, so.
Well, I know, like, the whole neighborhood, the yard couldn't see the grass.
Yeah.
And I think.
Well, I saw pictures, I saw videos. I actually came back from the beach a day earlier because of the flooding.
I saw a guy.
Yeah.
A guy was on a boat going down.
That wasn't your neighborhood, unfortunately.
Like, you know, it's a show, hey, look how much rain there is, you know, so. I just wanted to ask also, I believe someone had said in the past that, there's some kind of a cap system too, that you could put in the basement, so if the water comes up, it'll close off.
A backflow preventive program, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I was here for that, I wasn't quite sure if that's
Yeah.
what you were talking about.
Yes.
Is that something you're gonna help with?
Yes, we're gonna introduce a grant program, we're just working out the details. Now, it won't cover the entire cost, but,
Some is better than none.
yes, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate your help.
With that, upcoming board commission meetings, there's no work session in July. Historic preservation is July 9th at 5:45 PM. Zoning Board of Appeals is July 11th at 6 PM. Planning Board is July 18th at 6:30 PM. And our regular town board meeting with a public hearing on the new solar law is July 22nd at 6 PM. With that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
To executive session.
What?
To executive session, right?
July 22nd.
No, it's executive session.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, we, motion to go to executive session with no action being taken.
Yeah, for consultation with attorney.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody.